Kumba is perhaps one of the most intense roller coasters from Swiss manufacturer Bolliger and Mabillard. While Bolliger and Mabillard is known for some incredible roller coasters like Fury 325, Montu, Yukon Striker, among others, none of their newer coasters have the same power and intensity as their older sit-down coasters. Kumba is located at Busch Gardens Tampa in Tampa, Florida, and has one crazy, forceful ride experience. It stands 143 feet tall, has a little under 4,000 feet of track, reaches a top speed of 60 miles per hour, and has 7 inversions. This ride is a powerhouse and a prime example of old school Bolliger and Mabillard. This is our full-length, in-depth review of Kumba and our comments about what you can expect when you go to Busch Gardens Tampa to ride this coaster. Now, let's get into the review. Kumba opened in 1993 as Busch Gardens Tampa's signature attraction and debuted as Florida's tallest, longest, and fastest roller coaster. It also opened with the world's tallest vertical loop. In the following years, it would lose all these distinctions to other Bolliger and Mabillard coasters. It would lose its Florida height and length record to Montu, which opened at the same park in 1996, and its speed record to Islands of Adventure's The Incredible Hulk in 1999. Kumba is located in the Congo section of the park. It's actually the coaster farthest from the park's front entrance, and it is a hike to get to regardless of which path you take. That said, the quickest way to Kumba is up past Cheetah Hunt and through the park's Pantopia section. As you approach the ride, you will walk along Kumba Bridge, one of the 2 bridges within the Congo section. At the queue entrance, you will not see much theming. Rather, you will see Kumba's teal track winding around you and a covered queue displaying the ride name and logo. As you make your way to the station, you will wind through switchbacks until you reach the station. Once in the station, you will see a plain-looking station and one of Kumba's 3 8-row, 32-passenger trains. These trains aren't special as they have a yellow fiberglass lead car and black over-the-shoulder restraints. Depending on when you visit the park, Kumba will either be a walk-on, even for the front row, or around a 10 to 15 minute wait, which is pleasantly surprising. Once you have boarded your train, secured your restraint, and cleared dispatch, you proceed forward into a right-hand turn out of the station and up the lift hill to start your ride. At the top of the lift hill, you enter a short pre-drop before taking a left-hand bank turn into Kumba's 135-foot first drop. At the bottom of the first drop, you pull up into a large vertical loop that wraps around the lift hill. During this loop, you get some good whip if you are sitting towards the back of the train. As you come out of the loop, you bank towards the left up into a dive loop. This dive loop has some great whip if you are sitting towards the back of the train. When you come off of that dive loop, you will feel some strong positive G-forces in the valley before whipping into the ride's next inversion, a 0G roll. If you have done any old school Bolliger and Mabillard looper, you know that these 0G rolls are quite whippy. This is especially true on Kumba if you are sitting towards the front of the train. As you come out of that 0G roll, you take a slight right-hand bank to turn over a small speed hill under a bridge and up into the first half of Kumba's Cobra roll. You will definitely feel some more positive G-forces going into this element. You then fly through the second half of Kumba's Cobra roll before taking a left-hand turn up into the mid-course brake run. If you ride Kumba on a hot summer day, don't be surprised if you gray out a tad on the transition out of the Cobra roll. You then take a left-hand turning dive off the mid-course brake run and fly into the first of Kumba's interlocking corkscrews. As you come out of this corkscrew, you take a left-hand bank to turn around into the second of Kumba's interlocking corkscrews. Both of these corkscrews have some good whip on them. As you come out of the second corkscrew, you go under a bridge and up into a left-hand turn, which banks a little further before diving into a tunnel. In the tunnel, you enter a ground-hugging rightward banked helix, which climbs up into the final brake run, thus completing your ride. If there is one word that describes Kumba, it would be intense. This coaster tears through its layout and pulls some of the strongest positive G-forces on any Bolliger and Mabillard roller coaster. The roller coaster database notes that Kumba pulls 3.8 Gs, but when you're on the ride, it feels much higher than that. Kumba enters its Cobra roll with so much power that you will likely gray out for a moment during this element. And if you are sitting in the back row, you will definitely feel those positive G-forces. And we recommend sitting in the back row. That is where you will have the best ride. At least if you like high positive G-forces. If you don't like high positive G-forces, you can't go wrong with a front row ride. On most days, you will only have to wait 1 or 2 more trains for the front row. And you should try the front row because some of the elements shine better up there. Mostly the 0G roll. You enter that element with some good snap. While it might not be as snappy as some of the old school invert 0G rolls, it is still very good. Regardless of where you sit, Kumba is a powerful ride. It is also still a smooth ride, which is a plus. One thing worth mentioning is that for as good as this coaster is, it hardly gets a line. That might have to do with its location towards the very back of the park. It might also have to do with the fact that it has some of the highest capacity in the park. Its 32 passenger trains help keep lines moving. Another thing worth mentioning is that Kumba, which means roar in a made-up Congo language, has that distinctive old-school B&M roar. There is one annoying aspect about Kumba, and that is the locker policy. You must leave all larger bags in a locker. Nonetheless, Kumba is a great ride with phenomenal pacing, and it is easily one of the most intense rides in the park. Overall, Kumba is still a headlining attraction at Busch Gardens Tampa. While it might not draw the same crowds as Iron Gwazi, Kumba is still an amazing ride. It might not be for everyone because of its intensity, but if you enjoy an intense ride, Kumba is a must ride. For our final score, we give Kumba an 8.5 out of 10. This coaster is awesome, and Busch Gardens Tampa would just not feel the same without it. So, let us know in the comments below if you have ridden Kumba at Busch Gardens Tampa, and if so, what you think about it. And if you enjoyed this video or are new to the channel, please like and subscribe for more coaster content like this. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more coaster reviews and amusement park content coming soon to Coaster Adventures, and we hope to see you in the next one.